Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars and welcome to another PlayStation review. Today I'm taking a look at Planet Coaster 2 for the PlayStation 5. Now this has been arguably my most anticipated game this year. I am a huge fan of the first Planet Coaster game. And if you watched recently, I did a top 10 list of my favourite like city builders or park management type games, and not to spoil it for you guys, but this came right at the top of my list, the original anyway. I pumped many hundreds of hours into the first game, and I found it massively rewarding and hugely entertaining and a really fun time. So needless to say, I've been super excited for this game. These are right up there with my favourite type of games to play. I'm at the stage in my gaming career where I really just like to play games, really to chill out for the most part, which is why I like strategy games, city builder type games, or RPGs. Those are like my three main ones that I play these days. So what do you get here with Planet Coaster 2? Well, for those of you who have played the first one and enjoyed the first one, this is going to feel immediately comfortable to you. I know I put a gameplay video up of this last week when it first came out, and I had a couple of people commenting saying, oh, is this easy to get into? It looks quite complicated, and I recommended to those guys in the comments that you probably should try the first one before you commit to this one, and you'll be able to pick the first one up much cheaper too. And that would be my advice to any of you guys who are watching this video. If that's your thought patterns, that you feel like it's going to be quite a complicated game to play, but you like the thought or the idea of it, just go and get the first one first. It'll be really cheap to pick up, and it will tell you very clearly if you're going to enjoy this game. Because if you enjoy the first one, you're absolutely going to enjoy the second one. Now, it is, without really being overly critical here, because I don't want to be, because I really am enjoying this game. There's not a huge amount of differences between the two games, in my opinion. The game here looks fabulous, in my opinion, but I thought the first game, Planet Coaster, looked fabulous. It's got a really cool aesthetic to it. You can zoom right in, you can see your rides, you can ride all your rides. There's a camera option where you can get in the ride and ride it, which is fabulous. I really love that feature. You can get right down into the crowds and see what they're up to, and you can micromanage every aspect of this park. You can look at your stats and your analytics and all that kind of stuff if that's the kind of person you are, if you like to micromanage. But it doesn't force you to either at the same time. The game is quite a relaxed experience. Now you've got a number of modes to go at here when you put the game on, and again I think this is very similar to the first one. You've got career mode, which essentially is the tutorial. It teaches you how to play the game, but it's quite an extensive tutorial, if that's what you want to call it. They don't call it that, they call it the career mode. So you're kind of given the option to go into all these different parks, and the more kind of stars that you unlock, it unlocks more parks further down the list. And you get to try out all different types of parks, all different types of rides. And it really does teach you quite extensively how to play the game. And I would strongly recommend any of you playing that first. Then you've got your franchise mode, where you're put in charge of your own basic theme park, and you've got to turn it into the biggest and the best in the world, sort of thing. And once you've kind of learned everything you need to learn from the career mode, it's a great place to go next. Then you've got sandbox mode. Speaks for itself if you play these sort of games. You can customize the game however you want to your liking, and just go for it and just build away with very few restrictions. And again, you've got the workshop mode here, which is where you guys out there, the community, can upload your own creations, because the game here has got, obviously, it's got its blueprints of like rides that have been kind of set up all ready for you to go if that's what you want, but you can also kind of create your own ride experience in many ways. You've got like your basic ride, and then you kind of create all the scenery where that goes around it, or you can create the coaster and you can determine where all the dips go, the twists and everything. As I said, it allows you to do everything that you want to do. You can be as detailed as you want, as prescriptive as you want, or just basically choose the blueprints or go into the workshop and download creations that guys in the community have done. And there's some really inventive stuff on the workshop, and I really love that aspect of it. Now, there will probably very likely be DLC with this. There was on the last one, where they kind of released like specialized packs. I think there was a Ghostbuster one on the last one, on Planet Coaster 1. And it adds new kind of rides and themes to all the parks. And it's, if you're really into this game, then you're really, really going to like it. The career mode as well kind of teaches you how to like repair tracks sort of thing on roller coasters, because some of the parks that you go to, you will need to like complete some roller coasters that have been partially built. Now that seems quite daunting at first, but there's a very helpful autocomplete option for the coasters that for the most part works really, really well. There was a couple of coasters that I auto-completed on bits of the track, and it just wouldn't work, and it took me forever to try and figure out why it wouldn't work. There wasn't enough power to get it round a certain corner. So it can be quite frustrating at times, the autocomplete, but I would say 85% of the time it works very well if you're the kind of person that just wants to click a button, complete it, and then move on with the next task sort of thing. One of the big selling points this time around for Planet Coaster 2 is like the water park features. So it's got all sorts of different like log flumes, like water rides, all that kind of stuff, whereas the last one didn't really have this. So it's a new feature this time round. You can build like swimming pools as well that you can put in certain parks. Well, you can put them in any park really. And then you will just you need to kind of add all the right features. So you've got to add like changing rooms and a drying room and lifeguards. You've got to make sure there's enough lifeguards that are covering like the size of the pool. You can't really leave any gaps to make sure all your guests are safe. You can add in like log flumes to it to kind of make it so that they're really fun for people to slide off. And it's just a really cool new addition, and it's very, very welcome in my opinion as well. Again, you've got research here, where you've got there's literally many, many dozens of rides to unlock in regards to coasters, flat rides, like I say, swimming pools, all this kind of stuff. All the different rides that you can unlock, you've got to kind of research them. And you research them by kind of building like a workshop, or I find it better to build 2 or 3 like on your parks. You staff them up, and then they will kind of research things slowly but surely, and it builds up like research points, and then you can unlock new rides, new features, all that kind of stuff, and scenery. You can make your rides and your parks look really, really special with all the different scenery options. As usual, you've got like your shops and things that you want to put. So you've got your food shops, you've got drink shops, you've got like merchandise shops like hats and toys and balloons, all this kind of stuff. You put them up, you staff them up. You're in control of choosing the prices for everything in the shop as well as the prices on the rides. You can pretty much edit anything in any way that you want to edit it, basically. And then you just sit back and watch your park kind of do what it does, which is like have fun, give everyone having fun, which you can manage, make sure everybody's enjoying everything that they're doing. Also checking that your guests are happy, there's enough facilities there for them, like bins and benches and toilets and information booths and everything. You could just let your creative mind go absolutely wild with this thing. It absolutely nails that aspect. If you're a patient gamer, you love building and you love creating, this is absolutely going to be a nailed on buy for you, in my opinion. So as I said earlier, if this looks really cool to you, or you really like the idea of it, and you haven't played the first one yet, my advice would be to play the first one. They are very, very similar in pretty much most aspects. I mean, some of them quite big differences here, obviously, like the water feature type stuff, but also the path building in the second one. I just hadn't quite got used to it yet, like I did in the first one. It's a bit fidgety. And like there's a snap option as well for like putting your things in place that again is a bit fidgety, but I remember the first one being a bit like that until I kind of got used to it and settled into it. But just be aware of that if you like when you're playing the second one. You know, some of the controls take a little bit of getting used to. Some of like the path options, I mean, you wouldn't think there'd be that many options for paths, but there's absolutely loads here. For me, this is an absolute stone cold buy. If you love the first one, I'm absolutely thrilled with this one. I'm going to be playing this to death right up to Christmas and beyond, and it's a game I strongly recommend. So thank you very much for joining me for this review.